is Bill Belichick not making the Hall of Fame thing is, I find somewhat humorous because now everyone's trying to figure out who didn't vote for him and who led the charge against him.
Like some guy said he didn't remember.
Well, Bill Polian.
They should get exposed, though. Those people should get exposed. And you know what? If you vote, what's your reaning? You know,
what was that guy's comment, Hayes? He was like, I thought I voted for him, and then he was like, hang on a sec, did I?
Yeah. So
exactly.
Bill Polian, who a lot of people believe hates Bill Belichick. And, there's conspiracies. It's Polian or it's Robert Kraft. Maybe it was Bob Kraft who was trying to, whip up some votes against him in the background because maybe he's anti-Belichick. But Polian originally said, oh, yeah, should be a Hall of Famer. And then the next interview, I think he said, I can't say with 100% certainty I voted for him, which is, I love that. Isn't that the greatest? I can't say with 100% certainty.
But don't you think that somebody, like, I want to know, and it's going to come out, our guy Pablo is going to come out with the information. Mm-hmm. Somebody spearheaded this. Like, I honestly don't think that people could have all together dreamt this up and said, Bill Belichick's not going in the first time around. Like, it seems crazy. Yeah. It seems like some kind of league thing. Like, I don't know who the hell could be involved in this, but for everybody to get on board where he didn't get 40 of 50 votes, the best coach in the history of the game, I think it's embarrassing, man. I think Roger Goodell needs to step in and fix it, to be honest with you. It's that embarrassing.
It's out of his purview, though. Like, the Hall of Fame is a separate museum.
It's a hall with plaques.
It's a hall with some plaques in it. I mean, again, it gets back to my original ignorant comment, which I know was ignorant. But this was kind of the stuff I was talking about. A lot of foul play, a lot of back to high school. I don't like that guy, so I'm not voting for him. It's a hall with some plaques in there, and this is a perfect example. Bill Belichick, whether he's in the Hall of Fame or not, is a Hall of Famer based on what he did throughout his career. And that was the point I was making, with a lot of these guys, with Barry Bonds, with Brendan Shanahan his first year. Shanahan was a Hall of Famer every day of the week.
3 Stanley Cups and 600 goals.
Yes. Yeah. The 02 gold medal he was there for. Like, the guy, he's an all-time great player. It was a hall with some plaques in it. Until, like, again, with the guys that don't get in, that should be in, they had their Hall of Fame career. Like, that was the point I was making. It sounded... It was ignorant. It was a poor choice of words. It's a hall with some plaques in there.
It was really,
I was not trying to, denigrate the
I know,
hall.
But it's still
a
an
beautiful place.
Comment.
It's a great museum. It's a great experience. I'm a huge supporter. But I was talking about stuff like this, where you get voters that go on some crusade and they make it more about themselves than the actual inductees.
That's the thing, though. They should look at the voters and make sure that they aren't at least, everyone's biased. But you know what? Make it transparent so that you have to be accountable for your actions. They do it like I vote for Hart and all of that. My votes are right there. You can see them, and you can just agree or disagree. That's the difference. But at least I put time and thoughtfulness into it, and it's not a vindictive situation. This sounds like it's vindictive for people that are scorned because they've had a personal experience with Belichick and they didn't like him.
Yes.
And it's like, I don't like the guy, so to hell with him. Instead of looking at, what the guy did as a coach, a Hall of Fame coach.
But maybe that's just it, Jamie. Maybe they got Spygate in their head. They got Deflategate in their head, and they're like, maybe this guy cheated the whole time, and what has he done that we don't know about? Maybe that just seeped into their head.
Then you ask the question, does Robert Kraft have to own up to that as the owner? Does Tom Brady have to? Yeah. Where does it stop? Is it just Belichick? Possibly. He's the coach. He runs. That was his operation. There's no way Robert Kraft was involved to that level. I don't believe it. But by association, if you're the owner, a lot of times you got to take the fall. Like, I should have known, or I should have been aware of what was going on. And I don't get that impression that it's going to be held against Kraft, and I certainly don't get the impression it'll be held against Tom Brady, but I don't know. I mean,
I find it just suspicious. Like, he's arguably the greatest coach of all time, and you couldn't find enough votes to put him in the hall. I think it's ridiculous. I'm sorry. I just think it's ridiculous.
And I agree with the conspiracy, Like, I don't believe this was 11 individuals saying, I personally just can't do it. I think there was someone was talking and somebody
told somebody,
votes.
you're not putting that bastard in, and I don't care what you do.
I'd love to get a candid response from Belichick, like if he's just freaking out, snapping. We actually have a guy right now with us who was a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yes.
You think Prongs would have lost it if he didn't get in on the first ballot?
There was probably some people chittering and chattering. That guy broke too many people's arms, and I didn't like that, so maybe I'm not voting.
He was suspended 9 times, I think, too.
Disgusting.
Think of that. If some of the guys that well, I didn't mind it. It was my teammate, so I had no problem with it.
Here he is, Hall of Famer, Chris Pronger. Prongs, how would you have responded to not getting into the Hall on the first ballot?
You know what? I feel just the same as Bill Belichick would. At that stage, it's out of your control. But from what I've been reading, there's been a lot of Deflategate and cheating and all the things that have kind of been brought up from the past. And I don't know if that played a factor in the conversation or if it was just they don't like the guy, they harboring a grudge or what have you. But you certainly look at his resume and go, well, that's a first ballot Hall of Fame coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt.
Well, I mean, Prongs, do you believe in transparency? I've always believed, like, if you're voting for something, your vote should be on the docket. People be like, Rick made this vote. And yes or no, whether you agree with him or not, there should be some form of accountability for the people who are garnered the responsibility of putting people into the Hall or voting for all-star games and that. Shouldn't there be transparency with this?
Absolutely. In today's day and age, there should be. And for most of these awards now, there is. I'm not exactly sure why this isn't, if they're trying to protect whether it's the integrity of the vote or the voters themselves. I'm not sure, but they should be. I've seen a few of the voters in this situation come out and say, I voted for him. I haven't seen anybody come out and say they haven't voted for him.
Yes,
so that's the interesting part. I'd love to see, and then for them to give their reasoning why. Whether it was one of those, situations that I talked about, or if it was just something else where if it wasn't, the cheating scandal or the Deflategate or whatever opportunity you have to vote against them, if that's not the reason, then I don't know what else there could be.
No, there's nothing else.
Whether you consider him a nice person or not, that's got nothing to do with the fact that he knows how to win, he knows how to coach. He knows how to teach. And at the end of the day, it's about wins and losses in that league.
Yeah. And, it's the Hall of Fame. He's a famous guy.